Good morning, students. In today's session, I am going to discuss about dynamic binding. Here, before going to start this dynamic binding, just I would like to recall what do you mean by static binding and what do you mean by polymorphism. Here, in polymorphism means poly means many, form morphism means form, many forms. A single method or single function is having many forms. Here, in yesterday's session, I discussed about how that particular function polymorphism is going to be performed. Here, see here in this example, here class A is there. In class A, void display method is there. Here again in class B also we are having the same method, void display method. One more thing, here in here we are going to perform the inheritance here, right? See here, this is the base class. Now class A is the base class, this A is the base class, right? This is the base class, B is the derived class. Now base class is going to inherit all the properties of base class is having this is base class, right? Base class. Now in base class we are declaring p variable and display method. Again outside the class we are defining the display method, whereas in class B is going to be derived from class A. Here we are performing single inheritance. Here class B is the derived class. In derived class also we are going to define the same display method, void display method. Return type, function name is same just like its base class. Void display void is there, here also void display void is there, here also void display void is there. So whenever we are going to call, here I am going to create one pointer to the class A. See here, A star ptr obj. Here I am creating the pointer for the base class. Here just single object b obj is there. This is the object for class B, right? Now by using this object of class B, I am going to assigning the value of 20 to P. I am going to assigning the value of 30 to Q. Now here I am assigning the address of B obj to pointer variable. Here I am assigning the address B obj to a pointer variable ptra obj. This here ptra obj display method. Whenever I am going to call this method, here I am assigning the address. Here I am assigning the address of B object in pointer variable. Whenever we are going to try to call this method which is present in the class, here it is going to that particular display method is going to be executed. Which display method is going to be executed? Which is present in the class B. In class B, display method is class B data member p comma q, p and q, right? Data member p comma q, p and q is there. What is the value of p? P value is 20 and 30, but here we are getting 20 value, here we are getting 20, right? We are getting 20 value here. Now here why we are getting the incorrect output? Because of the static binding. Because of the static binding, that's the reason we are getting the incorrect output. Here the method, whenever we are calling the method which is by using the object of the derived class, but we are going to execute the method which is present in its base class, we are getting the incorrect output. Why we are getting this incorrect output? Means by using the static binding or early binding. To avoid this, we are going to use the dynamic binding and runtime polymorphism. How we are going to achieve this runtime polymorphism or dynamic binding means by using the virtual functions. By using the virtual functions, we can achieve the runtime polymorphism. Here virtual functions are just like functions. All these are just like functions, just like methods. But main difference is here we have to use the virtual function. Here we have to use the virtual function, right? A virtual function is a function in base class that is declared by using the keyword virtual. Here, whenever we are going to declare any method as a virtual method, whenever we are going to declare any method or any function is a virtual function, that particular method must be present in its base class. That particular method must be present in its base class. Only base class. Here virtual functions are going to be declared in base class only. Here we are not going to declare the virtual functions in derived class. Here in derived class we are not going to declare the virtual functions. Here defining a virtual function in base class with another version in a derived class signals the compiler that static linkage of the same is not to be done. Here whenever we are going to use this virtual keyword, here whenever we are going to call the method, by using the object, at that time dynamic binding is going to be performed, and depending upon the object, that particular function is going to be executed. For example, if here, see here in the previous example, here I am creating the object for the class B, here I am creating the pointer for the class A. If I am going to here create the object AOBJ here, now by using this pointer variable ptraobj equals to address of AOBJ, by using this one, ptrao display method, it is going to invoke the method which is present in its base class, depending upon the object we are going to call the function, in the same way here. Whenever we are going to perform the dynamic binding, here we have to use the virtual functions. Without using the virtual function, we can't perform the dynamic binding. Without using the virtual functions. In general, virtual functions are going to follow each and every property of method, but we have to use one keyword, that is virtual, before the function name. We have to put the virtual keyword. Right. Here the selection of the function to be called at any given point in the program need to be done at runtime based on the object reference. Here we are going to use the object reference. Here by using the object reference we can call any function. At any time. Here we can call the base class function and we can call the derived class function based on the object reference. Here by using the object reference only, here we are calling the functions, right? Here we have to create the object for the base class. By using the pointer variable of the base class, we are going to assigning the address of the base class. In some cases we are going to assigning the address of its derived class. Then we are going to call the methods, we are going to call the functions by using the pointer variable, right? Depending upon the pointer variable, we can call the methods which are present in the base class, which are having the same name, and we are going to call the methods which are present in the derived class which are having the same name by using the object reference, right? This is known as the dynamic binding. See here, class A is there. Here also I am performing the inheritance. Here whenever we are going to performing polymorphism, it should be in inheritance form. See here, A is there, A class is there, B class is there. Here A is the base class, right? A is the base class. In this class we are declaring one variable, that is P. We are declaring one data member, that is P, and one member function void display. Void display void. Here this void display void is a virtual function. We are declaring this display function as a virtual function. Here why we are going to use here this virtual keyword? Because here display function is there. This display function is present in the base class. That's the reason here we are going to write the virtual keyword. Now closing the braces, put the semicolon. Here up to here class declaration is completed. Now outside the class we are going to defining the display method. Outside the class we are going to defining the method. Here how we are going to defining the method? What is the keyword here? Void. Here what is the return type? Void, followed by the class name. Class name is A, then scope resolution operator, then what is the function name or method name? Display. Here return type is void, opening the braces. just see out class A data member. What is the class A data member? Class A data member is only P. So just I am going to display the value of P in display method which is present in its base class. Remember one thing, here I am going to use the void display method. Here I am going to assign, I am going to declaring this void display method as a virtual function, right? Here in base class I am declaring only P variable. That's the reason here I am going to display the value of P. I am going to display the value of P in this display method which is declared in class A, that is base class. Up to here clear? Next, class B. Here class B is the derived class, right? Class B is the derived class. Here A is there. Here I am performing the single inheritance, right? B is there. B is the derived class. B is the derived class. B is the derived class. In which mode we are deriving this B class from A? In public mode. In public mode, we are going to perform inheritance from class A to class B in public mode. What are the data member functions which are present in class A is going to be inherited in class B, right? In class A, what are the data members are there? P is there, display is there. Here in class B, Q is there, display is there, right? Here class B is going to be try to access the P variable, Q variable and display method, right? Here also we are going to use the same void display method. Here we are not going to use any virtual keyword. Why? Because here B class is the derived class. B class is the derived class. That's the reason we are not going to use any virtual keyword here. Void display. That's a general method. Here, see here, void is there, void is there. Here also void is there. Next, here display is there, display method is there. Here also display method is there. Next, here also return type void is there, void is there. We are not going to pass any parameters here. Here function name, return type, parameter list is same just like its base class, but the difference is in its base class we are declaring this void display function as a virtual function. In base class we are declaring that here void display function is a virtual function, right? Here now here P is the data member. P is the data member. That's the reason we can access the P variable in class B. We can access the P variable in class B. Why? Because class B is going to inherit from class A. What are the data members? Member functions which are present in its base class is going to be inherited by its derived class. B is the derived class. That's the reason here in display method I am going to defining that C out class B data members are P comma Q. Here P and Q both are there, right? I am going to display the values of P comma Q in display method of class B. In class A, just I am going to display the value of P in display method, whereas in case of class B display method I am going to display the value of P and Q, right? Now see here, first I am going to create the pointer variable, right? This is the pointer variable. Now pointer variable. Pointer variable of which one? Base class. Pointer variable of base class. See here. Now, what is this one? AOBJ. This is the object of A. Object of class A. Object of class A. AOBJ dot P. AOBJ dot P means I am going to assigning the value of 10 to variable data member P. I am going to assigning the value of 10 to this variable P by using the A object, right? Now in next statement I am going to assigning the address of this object to the pointer variable ptraobj. See here pointer variable is there. What is the use of pointer variable? Pointer is a variable which is used to store the address of another variable. Here I am creating the pointer to the class. Here I am creating the pointer to the class. Here now I am creating the object. I am going to create the object by using AOBJ. Now I am going to save the address of OBJ, reference of that particular object in this pointer variable. Now by using this pointer variable I am going to access this ptraobj display method. Directly this control is going to transfer here. right? Whenever this statement is going to be executed, whenever the compiler is going to read this statement, directly control is going to transfer here, right? See out class A data member P. What is the value of P here? P is 10. See here, output is class A data member P is 10. Class A data member P value is 10. Why? Because here I am assigning 10 value to AOBJ object. I am assigning 10 value to AOBJ object. Up to here clear? Now here I am creating this another object for class B. Here I am creating the object for class B. Here I am creating the object for class A. Here I am creating the object for class B. OBJ. Now here class B is going to be inherited from class A. Class B is going to be inherited from class A. What are the data members which are present in class A? Here only one data member is there, that is P. Int P is there. Now class B object can access the data member P and can access the data member Q, right? This is the general concept of inheritance. Already you know that one, right? Bobj dot P equals to 20, Bobj dot Q equals to 30. I am assigning 20 value to P, I am assigning 30 value to Q. Now here in this case, here I am assigning the reference object of class A in pointer variable. In second case, I am assigning the reference of class B object in the pointer variable of base class. I am assigning the reference variable, I am assigning the reference of derived class in the base class pointer, right? Now, by using this one, I am going to call this function ptraobj display method. Whenever the compiler is going to read this statement ptraobj display, directly control is going to transfer here. Void B display class B data members P comma Q, value of P is 20, value of Q is 30. See here, whenever the compiler is going to read this statement ptraobj, directly control is going to transfer to this display function. It is going to execute P comma Q values, right? Directly it is going to execute this one. Here, why this statement ptraobj? Whenever the compiler is going to read this statement, control is not going to be transferred to the display method which is present in the base class. Why? Means here we are declaring this virtual void display. Here we are declaring this base class method as virtual function. We are declaring base class method as a virtual function. Whenever we are going to declare any function, any method as a virtual, by using the object of that particular function only, we are going to call that particular function. See here, in previous example, here I am assigning the object reference value of the B object. I am assigning the reference value of B object in base class pointer. Whenever I am going to try to call this function ptraobj display function, here I am assigning the reference of B object. But what will happen? Directly control is going to transfer here and it is going to execute this statement which is present in base class. Directly control is going to be transferred here, void display. Here class A data member is P20. Right? But in this case here we are defining this base class method is a virtual method. Now by using this here, I am referencing the second B object. I am assigning the reference of B object to the pointer variable and I am going to try to call the display method. Whenever I am going to try to call this display method, directly control is going to transfer to the class B data members P comma Q 20 comma 30. Right? Up to here is it clear? Now I am going to execute this program by using this day C++. What is my first line? Hash include IO stream. Hash include IO stream. Next is using namespace std. Next, here I am going to declare one class A. In public mode, I am going to declare one P variable int P and virtual void display. here and put the semicolon. Here just I am declaring two data member, one is the p data member, one is the method void display method. Here I am going to put the keyword virtual, then this void display method becomes the virtual method, virtual function, right? Outside the class I am going here, outside the class I am going to display this one void, return type is void. Here class name is a, followed by the scope resolution method, scope resolution operator, then void. Next is here I am going to display the class sorry, cout value of p is, right, value of p is p and l, end of the line, right? Here up to here we are defining the void display method of class A, base class. Now here in second case I am going to declare this class B in public mode class A, right? Class B is going to inherited from class A in public mode, right? Now public int q, here I am declaring one data member, that is q, that is int q. Here I am going to declare virtual void display is there. Here also I am going to use the same method name, void display method. Here in base class we are not going to use the virtual keyword, right? Void. Next is class definition is completed. Outside the class I have to define the display method of class B. Here what is the return type of display method? Void. What is the class name? B, followed by here display, right? Void, open the braces. Now here just I am going to try to print the value of p and q values. Here just write, I will write class B data members are P and Q, P and Q, right? Now just I want to print the value of P, put the comma, then Q, right? Put the comma and Q, right? Up to here class B definition is class B display definition is completed. Now just I am going to write int main method, int main void, open the braces, right? Here I am creating the object I am creating the pointer to the class A, ptrA_obj. Here I am creating the one pointer variable to the base class A. Now I am going to create the A object, right? By using this A object I am going to assign the value of P equals to some 20, value of P, right? Now here I am going to assign the reference ptrA_obj equals to address of AOBJ. Here I am assigning the object reference of class A to the pointer variable, right? Now I am going to call the display method which is present in class A, ptrA_obj display, right? I am going to call the display method which is present in the class A. Up to here just I am going to assigning the value of P20. Next I am assigning the object reference of class A object in this pointer variable of its base class. Then I am going to call the display method which is present in its base class. Now I am going to create the object for class B, obj, and obj. Now obj dot p equals to some 30, Next, BOBJ dot Q equals to around 40. Now PTRAOBJ equals to, I am assigning the object reference of class B, BOBJ. I'm assigning the object reference of class B. Now by using this one, I'm going to call the object. By using this one here, PTRAOBJ display method which is present in class B, which is present in class B, void end, right? Int main is there, so return 0. Here I am assigning the value of P is 30, then value of Q is 40, then PTRAOBJ, so ampersand BOBJ. Now I am going to call the method which is present in the class B, display method. Now whenever we are going to use this statement here, directly it is going to invoke the method which is present in class B. What is the method which is present in class B? Class B data members are P comma Q. What are the values of P here? 20 comma 30, right? Now here, after executing this program, what is my output? What type of output I am going to get? First, the compiler is going to read PTRAOBJ display method. Directly control is going to transfer here display method which is present in the class A, value of P. What is the value of P? Value of P is, here I am assigning 20 value. Value of P is 20. Next is, then here I am going to create the next object BOBJ. Then I am assigning the 30 value to P, 40 value to Q. Then here I am assigning the reference object to PTRAOBJ. Here I am going to try to call this method. Whenever I am going to try to call this method, directly control is going to transfer to the display method which is present in the derived class, that is B. Class B data members P comma Q are, P value is 30, Q value is 40. Now try to execute this program. First we have to save this one. Save. Now execute this one, compile this one. Right. Expected before void. What is void? Expected primary expressions before void. Yeah, just we have to remove this one because already we are defining that one. Compile. Yeah, see, error 0, warning 0. While we are going to call any method, don't write this void return type here. Now run. What is my output now? See here, value of P is 30, class B data members P comma Q are 30 comma 40. Right? Up to here clear? This is the concept of virtual function. This is the concept of virtual functions. Now, my next concept is pure virtual function. Pure virtual function means here just we are not going to define anything, any statement in the virtual function. Then that type of virtual function is known as the pure virtual function. See here virtual void display is there. Virtual void display is there here. Virtual void display. Now here outside the class I am defining the virtual function. Outside the class I am defining the virtual function. See out class A data member P. Right? Here in pure virtual function means here there is no definition is present. There is no meaningful definition is present in the base class. Right? Here here in this example we are having some meaningful definition. Why? Because here I am printing the value of p. Here I am printing the value of p. It means that this is the meaningful definition. We are defining the virtual function. In some cases we are not going to defining any virtual function. In such cases we have to put the function signature. We have to initialize the function signature with 0. Then that particular virtual function is known as pure virtual function. If there is no meaningful definition, we have to include in the base class, simply initialize the function signature with 0. Simply we have to include the function signature with 0, right? Here, see here in display method, here I am using one display method. Here also I am using the display method. But in base class I no need to write any definition. No need to write the definition for the display method. In that particular case, just we have to define the pure virtual function. Then here, then we have to assigning the equals to 0. Then you are going to get, then this function is known as the pure virtual function. Here we are not going to write any pure virtual before pure virtual function pure word. Just we have to assign the 0 equals to 0 value. Then that particular virtual function is known as the pure virtual function. Equals to 0 tells the compiler that the function has no body. Function, here we don't have any body for that particular virtual function. In that cases, that particular function is known as the virtual function. See here, class A public int p virtual void display void equals to 0. Here I am going to declare one data member void. Here virtual void display is there, right? Here in the previous example, here virtual void display, here I am declaring virtual void display. After that see out class A data member. Class A, here this is the definition of the virtual function, right? This is the definition of the virtual function, right? Here outside the class I am defining the virtual function definition. Outside the class I am defining the virtual function definition. But whenever we are going to declare any function as a virtual function, outside the class we are not going to define any definition for this void display method. Simply we are assigning the 0 value to the function. Here in general, whenever we are going to use any variable, for example int a equals to 0, int b equals to 20. So here we are assigning the values. We are assigning the values to the variables. We are assigning the values to the variables in C, right? But in this case, whenever we are going to declare any function as a pure virtual function, we can assign the 0 value to the functions also. We can assign the 0 values to the functions also. That type of functions are known as the pure virtual functions, right? No function definition is there. Now class B public A display method is there. In class B data members are just I am going here same in the same way. Here class A and class B. Class A is there, class B is there, right? Class A is the base class B is the derived class. Class B is going to derive from class A in public mode. So what are the data members, member functions which are present in the base class is going to inherit in class B. Here I am going to inherit p variable int p. Now class B is consisting of variables p comma q. Just I am in class B display method. Just I am going to display the value of p comma q. Just I am going to display the value of p comma q in class B display definition. In class B display definition, I am going to display the value of p and value of q. See here. Now a ptr obj, I am creating one pointer variable to its base class. In next case I am assigning the object. Here I am assigning the value a obj dot p equals to 10. Here b obj 20 30. Whenever I am going I am in the previous case. See here in the previous case, by using the object reference, here I am creating this one. by using the object reference I am going to call the display method, but here already the signature of this display method is 0. That's the case, no need to call the display method. Directly we can assign the value BOBJ reference value to the pointer variable. By using this pointer variable we can call the display method. Whenever the compiler is going to read the display method, directly control is going to transfer here class B data members p comma q. Now class B data members p comma q, it is going to display the 20 comma 30 value. Now we will check with this one, new source file. What is my first line? Hash include iostream using namespace using namespace std. Here I am going to declare one class. Class A. In class A public, class A public uh, class A public int p int p int p. Here I am going to declare pure virtual function virtual void display yeah, void and equals to 0. Here this is the pure virtual function declaration. Then closing the braces. Up to here class A declaration is completed. Here pure virtual function is there, so no need to define this display function. Here whenever we are going to declare any method as a pure virtual function, then here that particular method or that particular function is not having any body or any definition. Now I am going to declare class B public class A. Here I am performing the inheritance in public mode. Public int q, I am declaring one data member. Next void display void display void. Here I am going to define this class, declare this class B is declaration of class B is completed. Here I am going to define this one, right here one data member is q, one member function is there, void display is there. Outside the class we have to define this display method, right? Here return type is void, class name is B, followed by the scope resolution operator, then void, right, void and open the braces. Here I am going to display the values of p comma q, right? I am going to write the values of p comma q. Cout values of p and q are and p comma q and l, right? Here just I am going to, in display method, just I am going to print the values of p comma q, right? In class B I am declaring only one function, that is void display function. Here outside the class B I am defining the display function values of p comma q are p and q, right? Now declare int main void, open the braces. Now here I am going to create the object reference pointer object, right? PTRAOBJ, pointer object of class A, pointer object for class A, right? Here we are declaring this. Here, see here, we are declaring this the pure virtual function. Means whenever we are going to declare any function as a pure virtual function, that particular class becomes the abstract class. That particular class becomes the abstract class. We can't create any object for that particular class, right? See here, obj object, right? Bobj dot p equals to 30 20. Bobj dot q equals to some 40, right? Now ptraobj, I'm going to try to call the function display and return 0, return 0. Now here b object, I am creating the object. By using the object, I am going to assigning the value of p 20. I am going to assigning the value of 40 to q. ptraobj display function, I am calling the display function which is present in class b. In class b, values of p comma q are p value is 20, q value is 40. This is my output. First save this program. Save. Now try to execute this one. Compile. Errors are 0, warnings are 0. Now what type of output I am going to get for this one? Values of p comma q are 20 comma 40. Values of p comma q are 20 comma 40. Wait for some time. Why I am not getting this one? We have to get this one. See here, why we are not getting the output? See here, first I am not assigning this one. ptraobj equals to ampersand bobj. I am not assigning the reference. See, I am not assigning the reference of this object b. That's the reason we are not getting any output. Here I am assigning this object reference now. Save the program. Try to compile this one. Errors are 0, warnings are 0. Now run this program. See here, value of p comma q are 20 comma 40. Value of p comma q are 20 comma 40. Previously why we didn't get any output means here I am not going to assigning the reference of bobj to ptraobj. Yeah, this is the pointer variable of this one. Pointer variable for the base class. Here I am assigning the object reference of derived class to the pointer variable of base class. Then by using the pointer variable of its base class, I am calling the function which is present in its derived class. In derived class, here display method is there. Value of p and q are p comma q, right? Here I am declaring that display method is a virtual function, pure virtual function. Why? Because here I am assigning the 0 value. If I am going to try to create any object for this one, then what type of error we are going to get? AOBJ. Check this one. Here we are going to get one error. Compile. See here, can't declare variable AOBJ to be of abstract type A. Here we can't create any object for a class which is having the pure virtual function, right? Here I am going to try to create one object for base class. I am going to try to create one object for the base class, but here in base class I am having one pure virtual function. What do you mean by pure virtual function? Virtual void display equals to 0. I am assigning the 0 value for this complete function. Then this particular function is having no definition. This particular function is having no definition. That's the reason whenever any class is having pure virtual function, then that particular class is known as the abstract class. That particular class is known as abstract class. For abstract class, we can't create any object. See here, can't declare a obj to be of abstract type A. If any pure virtual function is declared any class, then that particular class is known as the abstract class. For any abstract class, we can't create any object. We can't create any object for the pure abstract class. Here, up to here, clear? Right, with this I am going to conclude this session. In next session I am going to discuss with another topic. Right, thank you.